In our previous video, we showed you just how you can parse resumes from many different sources online. If you haven't already seen how to pull candidates into your search, please go check out the video on parsing resumes to see how those candidates are first added to the system, and then how you can start managing your pipeline from there. But what I'm going to do is now hop on over to the jobs section here, and you can see I've pulled up my technical project manager position that I'm working on. When I click on the pipeline down below, it's going to give me a list of all of the candidates that I've shortlisted for this position. Now, it's pretty easy to manage the pipeline from here on out, and I can manage the pipeline here from the job. You can see here I've got 6 different candidates that we've shortlisted for the job, all at a stage of having been received for the job, meaning I've received them from outside sources so far. Now, if I wanted to, I could always hop to the candidate record directly. This opens up the candidate record, and I could also click on the pipeline tab. And this would show me the same thing just from the candidate side of things, where it's showing you that you're considering this candidate for the technical project manager position for this job. So I can update the status of the candidate right here from the candidate, or by going back to the job itself. And the way I would do that is I would simply right-click on the candidate here, and I would say Status. A new window will open up. This is the status window. And it's telling you you're doing a status update in regards to this candidate for this job with this hiring manager at this company. I'm simply going to choose a status, and it could be anything from the drop-down list that you use. These are examples, so just know you can customize this process. But if the next step in the process for this candidate is a phone interview, I'm simply going to check phone interview. I'm going to write a few details about that. I'm going to say meeting next week. And if I want to add some notes about that as well, I can do that here. The whole team will be there. And I'm simply going to hit save. Once I do, it's also going to ask me if I want to add the interview to the calendar. I can say yes, which will allow me to choose a date and time this interview is going to take place. I'm going to choose Tuesday at 2 o'clock. If I want to add any additional notes, I certainly can, but then I'll hit save, and this interview has now been added to the calendar. You'll also notice that the status of this candidate has been updated to phone interview. If I check the plus box here, it'll open up the entire history to first show me that the candidate was received, and now they're at a phone interview stage. Now, what I'm going to do is grab the ID for this job, and instead of managing the pipeline directly from the job, I'm going to hop over to the candidate pipeline view. So when I do that, it's going to open up a new view with a list of candidates. And these are showing candidates across all of your open positions that are actively being considered for jobs. So I'm going to sort just by the job that we're working on. I put the job ID into the search bar there. And there's those same candidates now. All 6 of those candidates that you saw back at the job level. Again, those same candidates here. But now in a dynamic view. So now as I go through the list, I'll still see that the most recent stage is a phone interview, and the remaining 5 are still at a receive stage. But I can now start to go through each of these candidates and review their resumes and things like that. And let's just say that Daniel Anderson looks like a good fit for our position, and we want to submit them over to the hiring manager. I can simply click Send or Submit Resume to a job, and then I just choose the job that I want to submit them to. It's that technical project manager position. Say OK. This will open up a new email to the hiring manager. And you can see here it's put the hiring manager's name into the body of the email already. I can choose different signatures that I might want to use. And it's attached the resume of Daniel Anderson. This is where I can give a quick write-up on the candidate. Please review and let me know if you would like to speak with him, right? Of course, you'd do something more detailed than that. Once I hit send, it's just going to give me a warning I'm in test mode. I'm not actually emailing people in these demos. But now that email is going to go out to our hiring manager, Sammy Hagar, at our company One for the Money. And in a few seconds, once it leaves the outbox, you'll see those in the outbox if they haven't left yet, just like in Outlook, so to speak. But once it leaves that outbox, it's going to automatically update the status of this candidate to submitted via email. And if I refresh that view, you'll now see that the current status of Daniel Anderson is submitted via email. So I'll do this same thing to each of these candidates as they go through the process. If I right-click on Robert Curry here and update his status, I might give him a different status here. We'll just say that this candidate, we're going to go ahead and reject him. We're going to say rejected by recruiter because he doesn't have enough experience. This is where you could also give a quick write-up. I spoke with the candidate today, and while they have a great attitude and really want to be considered for the job, I really don't think they have enough experience for our client. Let's keep looking, right? And again, once I hit save and refresh that view, it'll automatically update the status to rejected by recruiter. So this is how you can manage the pipeline, whether you're working from the pipeline view inside of candidates or at the job itself, right? When I click on the job and click on pipeline, I'm going to see those same statuses reflected here inside of that pipeline view. And the pipeline can be managed from a candidate record as well. Each candidate is always going to have a pipeline that will show every candidate or every job that this candidate has been considered for and what status they went to. You can also open up a hiring manager directly. Sammy Hagar is our hiring manager, so if I click on his name, it'll open up his profile. And there's also a pipeline tab there as well, which would allow me to manage candidates across all the different jobs I'm working on. So there's those same 6 candidates again that we saw. If I want to go to the company level, I can hop to the one for the money, which is the client, and I'll also see a pipeline tab there for the company, in which case I can also manage the pipeline for this particular job as well. I can pull up the same job that I was working on, and there's those same 6 candidates in the pipeline for the specific job or specific hiring manager we searched by. So no matter where you happen to be inside the software, you're going to find easy ways to manage that pipeline. And all of that pipeline data, again, is highly configurable by yourself. So if I was to right-click and update the status of this particular candidate, I can choose any of those statuses that I've created, or even create new statuses, or get rid of statuses I would never use. Either way, when any of these statuses or pipelines are updated, they will be reflected back in the dashboards and reports inside of the software, so you can pull up activity matrices or history or pipeline reports for each of your clients to quickly assess where candidates are in the different stages of the pipeline and what placements are coming around the corner. If you have any questions at all on how to manage your pipeline or customize that to your own unique process, send us an email, support@cbizsoft.com. Thanks so much.